gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Fenway Park.
Opening day 2009 from Fenway Park. The players coming through the seats and onto the field. In spectacular fashion here today. We had to wait a day to get it in, but it is finally here. Opening day 2009. The Red Sox introduced. Senator Kennedy on hand, and of course saluting Jim Rice, the newest Hall of Famer, also on hand today as part of the pregame ceremonies. Nobody does it like they do it here at Fenway Park, and the Red Sox ready to begin their home schedule as they welcome the American League champion Tampa Bay Rays. Hi again, everybody. Don Orsillo is always joined by the Rem Dog, Jerry Remy. And Jerry, it's always special here.
Well, it is. You know, every opening day is a special one here at Fenway Park. Today was no exception. A wonderful ceremony. And, hey, let's play some baseball, huh? We waited a day.
We did indeed. And the Red Sox have taken the field. And as they do, let's check out the visiting, as I mentioned, American League champion Tampa Bay Rays. As they come in as good as ever into this season. Akinori Iwamura at second base will lead it off. Carl Crawford in left field. Evan Longoria is at third base. He bats third with Carlos Pena at first base in the cleanup spot. Pat Burrell, a new addition to the Rays over from the Phillies. Matt Joyce from the Tigers is in center field. Deoner Navarro doing the catching, batting seventh. Gabe Gross is out in right field, batting eighth. And Jason Bartlett at shortstop bats ninth. On the mound for Boston today, their ace, Josh Beckett.
Well, after spending 2 stints on the disabled list a year ago, he made 27 starts, had the 12-10 record, 4.03 ERA for Beckett. You can see that he held opponents to a 256 batting average against Tampa in his career, 5-3. And you see the numbers last year in the ALCS against the Rays. Game 6 win against the the Rays, 5 innings, 2 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, only 4 hits and 1 walk and 3 strikeouts in that Game 6. The defense this afternoon for the Red Sox. Mike Lowell will be at third base. Jed Lowry, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second. And Kevin Youkilis at first. Left to right, Jason Bay, Jacoby Ellsbury, and J.D. Drew, and Jason Varitek doing the catching for Josh Beckett.
Umpiring crew, Tim Sheeta has the play calling the balls and strikes with Bob Davidson at first base, Jeff Nelson at second base, and Mark Carlson is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Well, much better than yesterday. Still mostly cloud covered here at Fenway Park. There is a chance for precipitation. 46 degrees. Feels a little warmer than that. And the wind blowing out towards center field at 15 miles per hour to begin the game. A long, cold winter in New England. A long spring training, and finally opening day at Fenway Park is here. So are the Rays, and Akinori Iwamura stands in to get it started. The top of this Rays order, last year playing at second base and back there again. The first pitch of 2009 from Josh Beckett is in there for strike one. The season's underway.
Well, the one positive thing, Don, about the rainout yesterday was called off very early, so neither one of these starting pitchers had to even think about pitching in that ball game at any point yesterday.
This one swatted foul off to the left, and it's 0-2 to Iwamura. Now, from a mental standpoint, that really has to help out. The earlier the better if you're a starting pitcher.
Yeah, the worst thing in the world is to hang around all day not knowing if you're going to play or not. They made that announcement very early, so everybody was well aware.
It's away, and it's 1-2 to Iwamura. Josh Beckett was 12-10 a year ago in 27 starts. And the key to the beginning of this year is health for Josh Beckett. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1 of the season for Josh Beckett.
Beckett takes that fastball and goes to the outside corner. Gets the feeble swing here by Iwamura to pick up the first strikeout of the afternoon. That's painting the outside corner at 95 miles an hour.
So one down, and it brings up Carl Crawford, who's batting in the 2 spot. Seems strange not to see him in the leadoff spot when he has been healthy and right. Generally, he's been at the top of this order. It was hard at times to be healthy last year, kind of an off year for Crawford, who played in 109 games. Late swing, and he fouls it off to even the count at 1-1.
Don, you mentioned the health of Josh Beckett. Never really an issue at all in spring training. Had a very good spring for the Red Sox. Last couple of starts were a little bit shaky, but the key thing is from day one, he was healthy.
And what a difference a year makes. Of course, the Red Sox last year opened in Tokyo, and Beckett didn't even make that trip. This is out towards shortstop, and on a hop for Lowry, 2 down.
A do-or-die play there for Lowry at shortstop. You know the kind of speed that Carl Crawford has. You have to charge hard and just hope that the ball ends up in your glove. That's exactly what happens to Lowry. Gets rid of it quickly and gets Crawford by 2 running steps. Those guys that can run make infielders nervous.
2 down here in the top of the first. Here is last year's Rookie of the Year in the American League, Evan Longoria. Here are his numbers in 122 games. Down on the count, 0-1, 96 that time from Beckett. Longoria added to the World Baseball Classic Team USA for the semifinals. Some players coming home from the WBC we know all too well, and Pedroia and Youkilis. But he replaced Chipper Jones on the roster. Takes the strike, and he's down 1-2.
Good breaking ball there from Josh Beckett. Sometimes on cool days, tough to get the feel for the curveball, but Beckett seems to have it here in the first inning.
Longoria baffled on that one, strikes out. 2 Ks in the inning. A 1-2-3 first. Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off here in the bottom of the first inning. James Shields with ball 1 inside.
At 27 years old, he is the oldest member of the Rays starting rotation. Finished last year 14-8, the 3.56 ERA. His numbers were much better at home than they were on the road, and we'll take a look very shortly at the postseason numbers for James Shields. Incredibly, he's never won here at Fenway Park. Has a 2-4 career record against the Red Sox, but does not have a win at Fenway. 0-3.
Ellsbury fouls it off to even the count at 2-2. Today's leading off presented by Firestone, focusing on the first batter of 2009 for the Red Sox. Jacoby Ellsbury finished 08 with a 14-game hitting streak. It was the longest active streak when the season ended for Ellsbury, and he'd like to pick up where he left off. Doesn't, and strikes out. And a pitch that grabs the inside corner.
A little bit of a 2-seam fastball that time from James Shields. A lot had been away from Ellsbury in that at bat, and he comes inside with the fastball for the strikeout. Now last year's MVP.
You know, the numbers in his MVP season for Pedroia. Batting in the 2 spot. He's got David Ortiz behind him. And he takes ball 1 from Shields. I wonder what he's got left to achieve. You know, he will certainly go after whatever he can, but a Rookie of the Year in his first year, an MVP in his second year. Trying to start this season off right. Crawford back, looking up. Pedroia's gone yard. Into the monster seats. Last year's MVP has started 2009 off just great.
Well, Pedroia has a knack of getting things going for the Boston Red Sox, and he gets a pitch that's supposed to be away but stays down and in. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and he gouts it out of Fenway Park.
So just like that, it's a 1-0 Boston lead. David Ortiz lines this into center field. The first pitch he sees from James Shields.
One thing you know about James Shields, he's going to be around the plate. He does not walk many guys at all. You see the Red Sox being fairly aggressive against him in the first inning. A little bit toward the end of the bat for David Ortiz, but slaps it into center field for the base hit.
And the key matchup brought to you by Acura. And Ortiz has always joined his time against James Shields, no different in this at bat. As the single included as part of that 8 for 15 as Youkilis takes strike one.
Youkilis has not enjoyed his time against James Shields. 0 for 17.
In the dirt, kicks off Navarro, but Ortiz will remain at first. All-star catcher Deanna Navarro. As Dustin Pedroia has homered in the first inning to put the Red Sox on top 1-0. Two and 1 to Youkilis, who enters his 6th major league season with the Red Sox, debuting with Boston back in 2004. Two-time World Series champion and, of course, a Gold Glove winner in 07. Last year really was all about offense for Youkilis. He drives this one out to right field. Gabe Gross. 2 down. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, your New England Ford dealers, Dunkin' Donuts, Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network, your New England Subaru dealers, and by Sony PlayStation. 2 down last half of the first, and J.D. Drew to get his first at bat of 2009. Drew 280 a year ago in 109 games. Was the MVP of the All-Star game a year ago.
They really play him the pull on the right side of the infield. Iwamura, the second baseman, pulled way over toward first base. A big hole between that bag and the second baseman. Now looks like they're going to put the shift on him with the count 2-0.
To left field. Crawford going back, and that's going to grab some wall. Crawford plays the carom. Ortiz gets to third on the wall ball double for J.D. Drew.
Now that's just really good hitting there by J.D. Drew. He gets a 2-0 count. They put the shift on him, expecting him to pull the ball. Instead, he'll take this pitch to the opposite field. Again, fastball outside part of the plate and just rifles it off that left field wall. Played cleanly out there by Crawford. That's going to hold Ortiz at third base. So the Red Sox having some good swings here in the first inning off James Shields.
Second and third, 2 down, and a chance for Jason Bay. I'm going to feel like the comfort level for Bay has got to be at an all-time high, returning here to Boston and knowing what to expect after the midseason trade last year. Having so much success after the trade. Now back for his first full season. And 31 home runs between Pittsburgh and Boston. Half-hearted swing kind of changed his mind in the middle, and he's down 1-2.
Big sweeping breaking ball that time by Shields. Most of his breaking pitches have been cut fastballs to this point.
2-2 to Bay. So Ortiz at third, Drew at second, 2 down in the Boston first inning. Well, it is the second opening day start assignment for James Shields. Started last year at Baltimore. Bay takes ball 3.
How about being 27, being the oldest man in the rotation?
Well, Jim Hickey very excited about this rotation again this year, and really the key to the Rays' success last year. He fouls it off to the right. Let's check out the Red Sox lineup. It's brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury in center, Pedroia at second, Ortiz the DH with Youkilis at first, Drew in right, Jason Bay batting now, he's in left, Mike Lowell at third base, Jed Lowry bats eighth, and Jason Varitek bats ninth and does the catching. 3-2 to Bay. Ties him up, ball 4, he heads down to first. First walk given up by Shields. Red Sox load him up.
We mentioned the control for James Shields. Last year in 215 innings, only 40 walks with 160 strikeouts. So the Red Sox with an opportunity to break this open early. Get a little comfort zone.
We had to wonder when this guy had his hip surgery during the offseason whether or not he'd be ready to go on this day, opening day at Fenway Park, and it became increasingly clear throughout spring training that he was going to be ready, and is ready today as he takes ball 1 outside. So Ortiz at third, Drew at second, and Bay at first with 2 down. Strike to Lowell evens the count at 1-1. Fooled in the pitch. Lowell down 1-2.
Good changeup that time from James Shields. He'll throw them both to left-handers and right-handers. We've seen a couple of the righties in this inning. Changeup at about 83 miles an hour.
Two and 2 to Lowell. You know you got a good lineup when you got Mike Lowell hitting 7th in your lineup, as the Red Sox do to begin the season. Jed Lowry waits on deck.
Well, Francona loves to stay with that left-right combination throughout his lineup.
Two and 2 to Lowell. Bases loaded, 2 down. Popped up. Deanna Navarro flips the mask and makes the catch in fair ground. The Red Sox get a run on Pedroia's home run. It's 1-0 Boston. Nesson and Comcast would like to welcome viewers to today's game, our first telecast of the 2009 regular season. Thanks for joining us here in high definition. It's the second inning, and the Red Sox have a 1-0 advantage. Beckett with a 1-2-3 first. Carlos Pena dropping the bunt down with the shift on, and it goes foul.
Yeah, the Red Sox always put the big shift on Carlos Pena, and he tries to drop one down that third baseline.
Beckett endured a 16-minute wait while his team was batting. The Red Sox ended up leaving them loaded, but did get a run. Pena, after 46 home runs 2 years ago, hit 31 a year ago for the Rays and is down 0-2. Joe Madden trying to follow up and continue what has been a great turn of events in Tampa Bay, one that took them all the way to the World Series a year ago. Half-hearted swing, but he goes around. It's strikeout number 3 for Josh Beckett.
Beckett with 3 strikeouts in the ball game. 2 of them have come on fastballs. One to Iwamura. This fastball up and actually out of the zone to Pena. The other strikeout, to Longoria, was on a curveball.
There is Pat Burrell, a nice addition for the Rays during the offseason. 32-year-old who spent his entire career with the Phillies. To center field, Ellsbury has it lined up, and there's 2 down. I mentioned Burrell being one of the additions. Let's take a look at some of the moves for the Rays. Burrell being one, Lance Cormier out of the pen, Joyce coming from the Tigers. Gabe Kapler got a nice hand here as part of pregame festivities, and former Red Sox pitcher Joe Nelson. Of course, Rocco Baldelli is now here. Cliff Floyd out in San Diego actually just went on to the DL. Linsky, Jackson, and Miller on the list of who's out. And if you look at that and you take a look at the guys that they have added, it looks like they are better and ready to go into this season with a team that was already very good. This bat goes flying, a broken bat into the seats. It is popped up. Pedroia in short right makes the catch. It ends the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Beckett. It's a 1-0 Red Sox lead. Looks like everybody's all right. Opening week baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Firestone. It's into the bottom of the 2nd inning. Jed Lowry, first pitch swinging. Lowry, Veritek, and Ellsbury to bat here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Lowry at shortstop to begin the season for the Red Sox, and really the only available job heading into spring training. And of course, Julio Lugo going down and getting the knee surgery and be back relatively soon. But for now, it's Jed Lowry's spot. On the ground right side, Pena will need Shields, who's there to cover for the first out of the inning.
The Sox fans during the month of April come to the ballpark during the first hour after gates open to enjoy the new Fenway Hour. Fenway Family Hour will feature 9 popular food items and up to 50% off in price. The Red Sox team store on Yorkie Way will also have select merchandise available at a substantial discount during this period. For more information, call 877-RED-SOX-9.
Josh Beckett has retired all 6 Rays that he's faced so far in 16 pitches. Veritek looking to have a bounce-back season and had a very good spring training.
Well, he made a major overhaul in his hitting style, especially from the left side of the plate, and he had success down in spring training with that.
Ended up with 5 home runs and 16 runs batted in the 18 games that he played in. So saw instant results. We hope to carry that over.
Yeah, which is very important, Don, when you're trying to work with a guy that's done the same thing for a long time and trying to teach him something new. He needs to see results, and he needs to see them right away.
And I would imagine a fast start is really what he needs to this season, based on what took place last year and seemed to kind of roll out of control there for a while and was all messed up from the left side especially. He simplified things and lines this to left at Carl Crawford for the 2nd out.
That ball hit very well by Veritek, a line drive, but Crawford had him played perfectly in pretty shallow out there in left field, just a couple of steps to his left to take a base hit away from Jason Veritek. Looks like the cut fastball right here from Shields. Ball hit right on the button by Veritek, but right at Carl Crawford in left field. That's a good at bat, but you've got nothing to take to the bank.
2 down for Jacoby Ellsbury. And his second look at Shields as he takes strike 1. He was a strikeout victim in the first. And Shields got that first inning started off well, but then surrendered the solo home run to Pedroia.
So we all remember James Shields, the guy involved with Coco Crisp last year in that bench clearing brawl here at Fenway Park.
Right side, Iwamura. It's a 1-2-3 second, much better for Shields. 1-0 Boston. Third inning, 1-0. Red Sox on top. Deanna Navarro leading it off for the Rays, and the recipient at strike one. Beckett has been sharp here through the first 2 innings. He's thrown just 17 pitches and retired the first 6 Rays that he's faced. On the ground towards Youkilis, who will take it himself for the first out of the third. For the first time in 2009. Let's check in with Heidi Watney.
Well, Don, Terry Francona knows that getting off to a good start is important and that everything in the first couple of weeks is going to be scrutinized, but he says he has reason to be optimistic.
I bet you there's probably 29 other managers sitting right where I'm at today feeling the same way. You know, confident, yet anxiety. It's always the same. I mean, I think we have reason to be optimistic, big picture.
Francona also said he likes the way the lineup stretches out with solid hitters throughout, evidenced, as Don said earlier, by Mike Lowell hitting 7th. Don, Jerry?
Thanks very much, Heidi. Terry Francona certainly getting ready for this thing yesterday. You could tell he was very excited to play yesterday's game, very thankful the decision was made quickly in regards to Josh Beckett not having to wait around, get dressed a couple of different times, start to throw and everything else, and just wait a day and then get it going.
You know, it's interesting, Don, because everybody gets nervous on opening day, players, coaches, and managers, and you know, it's nice to be able to manage a club that you know is going to compete all season long. Now, there are a lot of managers in this game of baseball that you know that after about 2 months, you're probably going to be out of the pennant race.
That's a bad feeling.
And that's not a good feeling to have.
Gabe Gross takes a strike over the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Well, you look at the Rays last year, and they could not have thought, at least most of baseball and the so-called experts didn't even imagine what they were able to accomplish and get to the World Series. But you kept waiting last year for them to finally fall out of the race, and there you could say, okay, that run was great and it's over. And the one that you point to and you talked to Joe Madden about last year, I think most felt that when Evan Longoria went down and Carl Crawford, all within about a 48-hour period, that was going to be it. And they would then show their true colors and not continue down the road of success. But it just kept going. All the checkpoints, they just kept passing. And then the biggest perhaps of all was getting through the 7th game against the Red Sox after that devastating defeat and the huge lead they had here at Fenway Park. And then to move on to the World Series. And they didn't win it, but he certainly has some believers under Joe Madden right now and across baseball.
Well, for me, that was the story of the season last year, the Tampa Bay Rays. I couldn't agree more, too, when they lost Longoria and they lost Crawford. And I think most people thought at that time, well, here, the bubble's going to burst now. Never did. And that's certainly a credit to the rest of those guys that picked it up for him.
And you hate to say that fights bring teams together, and they're not momentous occasions for a manager per se, but he kind of pointed to the Yankees fight that they had last year in spring training, and certainly the fight here at Fenway Park that involved Coco Crisp was kind of team unifying situations. Gross takes ball 4 and the first base runner of the day for the Rays.
For years, contractors have trusted the FW Webb Company for plumbing, heating, and cooling products. Now homeowners can visit one of 27 Frank Webb Bath Center showrooms. Product knowledge and friendly guidance make both sides of Webb a home run.
And the Rays have their first base runner of the afternoon. It's a walk to Gross with 1 out, and Jason Bartlett was a big part of the turnaround last year for the Rays, coming over from the Minnesota Twins. A lot of guys pointing to his leadership qualities and what he's able to do. You look at the numbers and they don't really jump out at you. He hit 286 with a home run and 37 runs batted in, but many point to his contributions last year as a large part.
Well, he also gave them stability at a position that they desperately needed at that shortstop.
Still relatively young, 29 years of age. His second opening day start for the Rays. It started on one other opening day, but that was a member of the Minnesota Twins. The Tampa Bay Rays writers, the group that travel with them on a day-to-day basis, voted him as the Rays MVP. And a strike over the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Hit a solo home run off Josh Beckett in the American League Championship Series in Game 6 after he hit only one home run during the entire regular season. Here he faces Beckett for the first time in 2009. It's 2-1.
Hell, if Joe Madden wants this, a pretty good count to put on a hit and run. 2-1 count. Beckett has shown that he's going to be around the plate.
It's away, and it's 3-1 now to Bartlett.
See, Joe Madden's wearing that hat that he wore all through the playoffs and World Series last year, huh?
He is. Somebody mentioned that it kind of looks like Elmer Fudd's hat, and he said that that was fine with him. Hey, Elmer Fudd is iconic.
As long as it keeps the ears warm, right? He flips that baby down, and everything's covered.
I think it looks better when he actually does flip it down. Now it could be confused for one of those spring training hats. There's no confusing it when he flips it down. You get the full effect. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt. Varitek's throw with the runner going, not in time. Gross takes second base.
Well, a 3-1 count. Of course, you don't have to swing here. It's not a hit and run. If you get a strike, you swing, and just beating it at second base is Gross. Pedroia thought he had him, and Varitek thought he had him. But it looks like the foot does get on the bag just before that tag is around the calf area. I think Varitek looking to the dugout to see if somebody would come out and argue.
So Gross in a scoring position with one out and a 3-2 count to Jason Bartlett. It's ball 4, and it's back-to-back walks from Beckett to the 8-9 men in the Rays order. So cruising right along to the first 7 batters, but walks to Gross and Bartlett. And it's back up top now for Akinori Iwamura.
Yeah, Beckett there with the man in scoring position, going to the breaking ball with Bartlett. Bartlett has handled Beckett pretty well throughout his career, a .333 hitter in regular season play.
Iwamura struck out swinging in the first, one of 3 strikeouts today for Beckett. Iwamura, 30 years of age, his 3rd straight opening day roster since coming to the United States from Japan. And of course, the starting second baseman for Japan's championship team in the WBC. Varitek knocks it down. Gross thought about it, but goes back to the bag at second.
Varitek getting down to the knees, blocking this ball, softening things up and keeping it in front of him so the runners cannot advance.
He's had to work hard here in the 3rd inning, especially after a 5-pitch second inning. To left and in for a base hit. Gross will be stopped at 3rd as Bay gets it back in quickly. It's the first hit for the Rays, but after back-to-back walks, the Rays now have them loaded.
Well, since going out of that stretch position, Beckett having a little bit of trouble. He walks Gross, a guy that he's had good success against. Then the Bartlett breaking ball to walk him. And now Iwamura gets that fastball on the outside part of the plate and slaps it to left field. Jason Bay puts a good charge on it, and they cannot score the man from second base. Bay had the ball before Gross even got to 3rd base.
Still just 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Carl Crawford grounded out to short his first time up. To center field, Ellsbury headed back, still going. He'll run it down onto the warning track as Gross will tag and tie the score at 1-1 with now 2 outs in the inning. Driven deep and far, but back where Ellsbury could run it down on the track and straightaway center.
And the Red Sox and Jacoby Ellsbury had to get that ball in quickly because there was a possibility, had they not, that runner from second could have scored all the way from second base. They wasted no time getting the ball back into the cutoff man. Once again, good solid contact here by Crawford is going to drive Ellsbury back. Now you see Bartlett at second going back to tag up. He's thinking about maybe scoring because Ellsbury's back on the warning track. But they get it back into Pedroia and they have to hold him at third base.
So the Rays have tied it up 1-1. And here's Evan Longoria, struck out swinging in a tough at bat in his first at bat back in the first inning. Hard stuff inside. 95 from Beckett. They look back to the first inning when the Red Sox were able to get a home run off Shields and then had the bases loaded. Kind of let him off the hook when Mike Lowell fouled out to end the first. And then Shields settled down for a 1-2-3 second inning. So he gets away briefly from Varitek, but he gathers it. No advance for Bartlett.
Well, Varitek's had to be very active behind the plate in this inning. A couple of balls bouncing in the dirt. Able to block him, and so far nobody's been able to advance on the base paths.
Bartlett at third, Iwamura at first base, and Beckett to check on first, but back is Iwamura. Strike over the outside corner, 2-1.
You got Longoria in a 2-0 count, sitting on nothing but fastball there. Instead, Beckett comes with the breaking ball to pick up the first strike. And as most good hitters do, when they don't get the pitch in their zone, they take it. And we welcome back the Amica pitch zone.
Longoria to right field. Out there is J.D. Drew wandering in. That's the inning, but the Rays grab a run, tie the score 1-1. Want to send out happy 91st birthday wishes to Bobby Doerr, Hall of Famer, of course, retired Red Sox number and legend. Probably enjoying today's opening day festivities from Oregon. Happy birthday, Bobby Doerr. Dustin Pedroia leading it off, takes ball one.
And also nested in the Red Sox want to send out birthday wishes to Jack Gordon of Boston. He turned 90 yesterday. Lifetime Red Sox fan. Hope you had a good one, Jack.
Pedroia takes one that slipped out of the hand of Shields over his head. Honorable Tom Menino in the house as he got the walkthrough as he normally does here at Fenway Park last week to look at the new renovations and what looked seamless and terrific as always. The new additions here at Fenway Park, which continue to better Fenway year in and year out.
I also noticed the mayor, when he was in the walkthrough, was enjoying the cuisine here at Fenway Park too. It was a taste test for the mayor.
There's ball four, and Pedroia is down to first base with a second walk from Shields.
Where can you score the coolest Red Sox gear in town? Check out BostonGlobeStore.com. The Boston Globe Store has everything for the diehard fan. Autographed memorabilia, Red Sox photos, souvenirs, and more. Shop online, shop anytime. Shop BostonGlobeStore.com.
Great to see Senator Kennedy along with Caroline Kennedy here at the ballpark, and many of the Kennedys here today. But great to see him. Appears to be in good spirits and doing well. Ortiz takes ball one.
He got two attempts at the first pitch, didn't he?
He did. Ortiz a single his first time up. Here's Senator Kennedy's first pitch as he came out with Hall of Famer Jim Rice, both part of the ceremony. Amazing that his grandfather, the mayor of Boston, original member of the Royal Rooters, threw out the first pitch 97 years ago.
He wanted to do over.
Yes.
He didn't like that first one.
Ortiz rattles it foul into the first row of seats. Ortiz lifts it in the air to right field. Gabe Gross started back, now comes in. Swing seemed to fool him, but he handles out number one.
Well, Nesson and the Red Sox want to send out get well wishes to Rhonda Mann, marketing director for Beth Israel Deaconess. She's recovering from back surgery. We're told she is a huge Red Sox fan, so much so that she named her family dog Remy. Wow.
Wow.
Best wishes, Rhonda, from everyone in Red Sox Nation. Get well soon.
I wonder how many dogs throughout New England are named Remy.
More than you think.
I'm sure there's many. Youkilis fly to right his first time up. Shields settling in after a rocky first inning, has his legs underneath him, and he's just allowed a base runner to begin this inning in Pedroia, who he walked, but he's not given up a base hit since the first. It's on the corner, and it's 1-1 now to Youkilis. And Terry Francona liking the way Youkilis adapted to the cleanup spot last year, and saying today really he could hit him anywhere in the lineup, but is comfortable with having Youkilis bat in the cleanup spot. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
We mentioned the problems Kevin has had with James Shield in the regular season. 0 for 18 now. And Shields throws that last fastball right by him. J.D. Drew on deck.
Chops it foul over by the Rays dugout. Hangs it 1-2 to Youkilis.
Covidien is a proud sponsor of the Boston Red Sox and the Red Sox Foundation, helping to raise money for life-saving cancer research.
Youkilis again after the 1-2, fouls it off to the right. All kinds of confidence from Joe Madden and James Shields. Of course, making him his opening day starter last year when Casimir began the year in the DL. He's just 27. As you mentioned, the oldest member of the Rays starting rotation, but chosen as the Game 1 starter for the American League Championship Series against the Red Sox, the ALDS against Chicago. Another foul for Youkilis, and it's 1-2.
Now, he just got good stuff. I mean, you know, there's a lot of ways he can get you out. He can get you out with his fastball, his cut fastball, his changeup, sweeping, breaking ball. Youkilis trying to battle him as hard as he possibly can in this at bat. Try to turn those numbers around.
Pitch 7 of the at bat, and it misses down and in. 2-2. He finished certainly strong during the regular season, lost just once in his final 11 regular season starts, and that was a game he was matched up against Toronto's Roy Halladay on August 26th. The only time he lost in his last 11 regular season starts. To left center. Crawford on the run, won't get there. It's in for a hit. Heading for third is Pedroia. He'll get there. A nice at bat from Youkilis. He's had all kinds of problems with James Shields in the past. He's got himself a base hit here and worked hard to get it.
Yeah, he really did have a nice at bat, as Don mentioned. You know, fouled off some pitches, took some pitches, finally got a changeup that he's able to wrist out there to left field. Very wise play by Kyle Crawford. Instead of trying to go to third base to get Pedroia, he gets the ball back into the middle of the field to try to keep the double play in order.
You into the shift for J.D. Drew with runners at first and third and one down. Drew a double that he planted off the left field wall his first time up. takes ball one.
Now you'd say, why would they shift on him if he took a 2-0 pitch and put it off the left field wall? Well, that ball's in the air. Most of the time on the charts, what they have against JD, a ground ball is going to be something that's going to be to the right side. Looks like they're going to call a ball on James Shield for going to his mouth.
So it's 2-0. On the ground, diving, a fair ball. Pena will touch first, but the run will score. From third comes Pedroia, and the Red Sox take a 2-1 lead.
Well, the Red Sox grab a run, but that's a heck of a play at first base by Carlos Pena. That ball gets by him. He might be talking about 2 runs for the Red Sox. Pena pounding off the bag with the man at first, has to go across the body, dives, tags the bag, and that's the only play that he had. But he makes a fine defensive play there. That ball gets by him down in the corner. You may see Euclid score from first base.
So the Red Sox retake the lead. On top 2-1 as Jason Bay takes strike one. That's with Euclid in scoring position at second and 2 down. They walked his first time up. 2 walks so far for James Shields. One and 2.
Might be one of the best changeups that Shields thrown all day. A very good one, 1-1 count, but down and out of the strike zone, but really fooled Jason Bay. Almost a screwball rotation on that changeup.
Euclid at second base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. On the ground and into right field, a base hit. Euclid is being waved around. Gabe Gross, no throw. Red Sox lead it 3-1.
Now, after seeing that changeup, on the next pitch he comes back with a fastball. Jason Bay is late on the swing, but they had Pena pulled way over, so there's plenty of real estate for Bay to find a hole. See how late he is on that fastball, but still look where Pena's playing, and nobody there to make a play on it. So the Red Sox, a couple more runs here in the third inning.
Bay at first, 2 down, 2 runs in, and Mike Lowell takes strike one. Popped out to Deanna Navarro, the catcher, in the first inning with the bases loaded. To left field, Carl Crawford wandering back at the track, off the wall. From first, Bay is going to try and score. He will. Roll into second with an RBI double that has the Red Sox on top 4-1.
I tell you, for a chilly day at Fenway Park, the ball's traveling pretty good because that wind's blowing out towards center field. That's a curveball right there from James Shields, and just above the scoreboard, and the bounce up over the head of Matt Joyce to center field. There you see that breeze blowing out towards center field.
Have to be happy for Mike Lowell. And if you look at the way he looked in the postseason last year and how frustrating it was, and quite frankly, how painful it was to watch.
Well, I think, Don, if I'm not mistaken, he went down in Tampa Bay right at the end of the season, and he just couldn't get out of the batter's box at all. We was talking about how much longer can this go on. It started into the playoffs, but he had to call timeout after that.
Not 100% running just yet. It's the one part of his game that is not back completely yet, said Terry Francona today before the game, but has got himself an RBI double. Red Sox out to the 4-1 lead as Jed Lowry takes strike one. Pitch count rising for Shields. About to throw his 65th pitch of the day. Jammed and looped to left. It'll drop for a hit. They stop low at third base as Crawford gathers it. And it's first and third now, 2 down.
Isn't that a beautiful thing for Jed Lowry? Big swing, not much action off contact, but still in a good spot. A little pop-up that nobody can get to. Jason Bartlett or Kyle Crawford. Let that ball up in the zone, that slight uppercut swing, but the little slice into left field for the base hit. And even with 2 outs with Lowell off on contact, they have to hold him at third base.
Varitek hit it right on the nose first time up, and unfortunately right at Carl Crawford in left field. 65 for Shields, who had thrown 37 through the first 2. Check swing, foul. Eighth man to bat here in this third inning for the Red Sox. They've scored 3 times.
And out hitting right now, Tampa Bay, 7-1 on the afternoon.
You know, you look at the schedule, and it all starts today, 162 games, but how important are these divisional games against both the Rays and Yankees now, the way this division is set up? These interdivisional games so important at any juncture during the season. Varitek fouls it off, and it's 0-2.
Watched yesterday as CC Sabathia got his first start and did not look very good in that game against the Baltimore Orioles. Fastball, I was surprised at. I was watching some of the ball game, and he was about 90-91 with his fastball. He had a terrible April last year.
Varitek to right field. Gabe Gross coming in. And that'll end the inning. But the Red Sox score 3 times and take a 4-1 lead.
Top of the 4th inning from Fenway Park. Josh Beckett has the 4-1 lead as he heads into the top of the 4th. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon. He got Iwamura on a fastball swinging. And also in the first inning, a breaking ball to Longoria and then a fastball to Pena. A couple of walks for Beckett in the 3rd inning as he threw most of his pitches in this game in the 3rd.
Carlos Pena gets a second look at Josh Beckett. Pena struck out in the 2nd inning. Three strikeouts for Beckett. He walked 2. They were in succession. The 8-9 men in the 3rd inning got into a bit of trouble. One of those walks turned into a run when Gabe Gross scored. And he fouls it off, and it's 0-2. As you might imagine, not many of the Rays received many applause during the introductions today, but one of the guys that did was Carlos Pena, Haverhill, Massachusetts' own. Northeastern University, and still considers it a thrill to come back here to play at any time at Fenway Park. Of course, a member of the Red Sox very briefly a couple years back. Striking out for the 2nd time today.
Well, Beckett doing a very good job of mixing his pitches up on Pena. Got him with a fastball back in the 2nd inning. Now he goes to the curveball to pick up the strikeout here in the 4th inning. I'd say another guy that got a huge ovation, Gabe Kapler.
Yes, he did.
Who is a member now of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Remarkable to think that he was a minor league manager in the Red Sox system. Kind of changed his mind. Decided he still had some play in him. And back in the major leagues, making this Rays team to begin this season. And one of the veterans that they'll be looking to, they had to kind of replace the role of Cliff Floyd, who was such a big part of that last year. Kapler's going to be a big part of that this season. And what'll be a platoon in right field. Pat Burrell has taken this to deep left. Jason Bay back at the wall to make the catch. Well, today's Red Sox game continues past 7:30. The Bruins game against the Ottawa Senators will be available on these NESN Plus and NESN Plus HD channels. To find complete NESN Plus channel information, visit NESN.com. When Red Sox coverage concludes, come back to NESN for the rest of the Bruins game tonight. Things are moving along well here so far, as there are 2 outs in the top half of the 4th inning. Red Sox enjoy a 4-1 lead. And here's Matt Joyce. Well, Joyce comes over in a deal that involved Edwin Jackson to the Detroit Tigers.
Had 12 home runs a year ago in limited playing time for the Tigers.
Down on the count, 0-2. Leonard Navarro waiting on deck. And the Rays, when they return home, supposed to be raising the 2008 American League Championship and American League East Championship banners in a pregame ceremony. There's strike 3, and Beckett's feeling it right now. 5 strikeouts, a 4-1 Red Sox lead. Last half of the 4th inning, opening day, Fenway Park, 2009. Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And happy 17th birthday on opening day. So she got lucky yesterday.
Yeah.
With the rain out.
Had to wait a day, but everybody's back. And it turned out, as we mentioned, to be a very good decision. It would have been very difficult, even if they had started, to get that thing finished with the amount of rain that came through yesterday. Ellsbury hits it on the ground at Iwamura for the first out of the inning.
Red Sox Nation, if you need medical care while at Fenway, visit the Beth Israel Deaconess First Aid Stand behind Section 12. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. Visit them at bidmc.org.
1 out, and here's Dustin Pedroia. The home run in his first at bat of 2009, back in the first inning, a solo shot. Walked to lead off the 3rd and came around to score the 2nd Boston run. Was rewarded with a 6-year contract and a club option for 2015 during the offseason. One thing the Red Sox did was wrap up some of their young guys coming up through the system. Youkilis as well, and of course Lester. It's a foul ball and just foul down the 3rd baseline.
Well, Pedroia got things started early for the Red Sox. First at bat of the 2009 season, and he goes deep. Mislocation there by James Shields, and Pedroia makes him pay with the home run.
One and 2 to Pedroia. So when fouled off, he's surprised during the offseason and the relative ease in which the Red Sox were able to wrap up a lot of their young guns in Pedroia and Youkilis for the foreseeable future.
No, not at all. They flashed that kind of door in front of me. I would have with ease signed up too.
John Lester followed suit along with those 2, and homegrown guys staying here in Boston for the foreseeable future.
Works out great for both sides. You know, the young players get rewarded for what they've done and what they think they're going to do with long-term deals for very good money, and yet it keeps these guys away from arbitration and free agency.
Chop left side. Longoria will cut it off on the run, and in time to get Pedroia 2 down. You know, we had Theo Epstein on during spring training, and he was saying that sometimes it sends the wrong message to go out and throw a lot of money at some people from other organizations, and kind of sends the wrong message to a lot of the talent you have in your own system and at the major league levels, guys who've come up through the system. And They rewarded those guys this past offseason. Here's another one of those guys who waits on deck with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Ortiz takes strike 1. David singled to center in the 1st. Flight out to right field in the 3rd. Well, last year appearing in 109 games due to various injuries last year, and certainly the wrist, the biggest problem. Perhaps never comfortable during the rest of the season after that wrist problem. Cannot quarrel with his production, though. Over the last 6 years, 2003 through 2008, ranked 2nd in the majors with 731 RBIs. He trails only Alex Rodriguez in that category. To left center field, Matt Joyce moves over and makes the catch basket style to end the inning. Played 4 on opening day. It's 4-1 Boston. Top of 5, 4-1. The Red Sox on top of the Tampa Bay Rays. Deanna Navarro takes strike 1 from Josh Beckett. Look at the line for Beckett as he starts the 5th. About to throw his 50th pitch of his outing. One blemish to 3rd inning. Back-to-back walks to Gross and Bartlett. One turned into a run. And a sacrifice fly for Carl Crawford. And it's the only run that he has relinquished through the first 4 innings. Navarro bounced out to first base, first time up.
And pretty much all afternoon, Josh Beckett has been hitting the spots he wants to. Just had a little bit of a hiccup there in the 3rd inning with a couple of walks to the 8 and 9 batter in the lineup. But for the most part, he's been able to put the ball where he wants to.
Rolls it foul, still down 1-2. Well, Deanna Navarro turned out to be a very good pickup for the Rays. Trade was made June 27th of 2006. A longtime catcher Toby Hall was traded, as well as left-handed pitcher Mark Hendrickson to the Dodgers. Navarro coming over from the Dodgers at the time.
That's tall, Mark Hendrickson.
It is indeed. Well, I believe he's now a member of the Baltimore Orioles. Two to Navarro. Late on the cut, 95 and blown by Navarro by Beckett. 6 strikeouts for Josh Beckett.
And that's exactly what I was talking about when mentioning the fact that he's hitting his spots. They want the fastball away. That's exactly where it's going to be. A little bit off the outside corner, but something Navarro can't stay off of. So Beckett, you know, he's getting that location. He's getting those signs, location from Veritek, and he's hitting his spots.
1 out in this top half of the 5th inning. Gabe Gross. It was a walk to Gross that got it started for the Rays. It seemed to take Beckett out of his rhythm. He had not yet pitched from the stretch after retiring the first 7 Rays that he faced. And a walk of Gross leading to a run in the 3rd.
And the surprise thing about that, Don, is the fact that Gross is a guy that's only had 1 hit. It was a home run, but he's 1 for 13 in his career against Beckett.
Fouls it off, and it's 1-2. It's time now for our Aflac trivia question. Ask about it at work. Question is, who are the last 2 players to play versus the team in the World Series and play them the next season? Gotcha. Play for them the next season. Help if I could read the copy.
It'll make things a little less confusing for the folks at
I'm
home.
confused. I still don't get it. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Beckett. In fact, it's 7 in all.
And it's all his pitches right now. His fastball, his curveball, and that recent strikeout coming on the changeup. Again, Veritek wants to change up away. That's exactly where it's going to be. You see the off-balance swing by Gabe Gross. So Beckett on top of his game here in the middle of this one.
7 in a row retired by Beckett. Jason Bartlett walked his first time up, takes ball 1. On the ground, foul outside of third, and it's 1-1.
Ballpark looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Boy, this has been a very difficult winter here in New England, as everyone well aware of. It seemed like every weekend we had some kind of snowstorm, but well, they've got the ballpark in tip-top condition here for opening day.
And of course, the new Cumberland Farm seats down the right field line. We'll hear from Tom Werner in the next half inning about that new addition and many renovations that have taken place here at Fenway Park. And that is the very latest. Also replacing the seats in the lower bowl. And new seats for fans to sit in this year. Broken bat, soft liner. Lowry will make the grab that ends the inning. Beckett in another 1-2-3 inning, 8 in a row. Red Sox lead it 4-1. 4-1, the Red Sox on top of the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Youkilis leads it off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Youkilis, Drew, and Bay to face James Shields, who's had one tough inning, one very good inning, another tough inning, and another good inning. Trying to grab some consistency here as this one out towards deep center field for Youkilis. That ball is still going, and it's off the wall. Youkilis will cruise into second base with a stand-up double to get the bottom of the 5th started.
Well, Youkilis turning things around against a guy that he's had big-time troubles against. He actually picked up his first hit against him last time on a changeup. This time he gets the fastball and gets it up over the head of Matt Joyce in center field, right off the bottom of that center field wall, off the padding. So the leadoff double here in the bottom of the 5th. That's going to get some action going down in the bullpen for Tampa Bay.
J.D. Drew bats for the 3rd time today and takes ball 1. That action in the pen, the right-hander up, Lance Cormier. Ball 2, 2-0. Drew doubled off the wall in left field in the 1st inning, grounded out to first base in the 3rd. His ground out produced a run for his first RBI of the season. He's ahead 3-0. Yeah, Shields gave up a run in the 1st, facing 7 batters, had a 1-2-3 second, then faced 8 batters in the 3rd, gave up 3 more runs, a 1-2-3 4th, and if the pattern continues, it could be a tough 5th.
And a couple of those runs in the 3rd inning with 2 outs.
So a walk, and it's 1st and 2nd, nobody out. It's time now for the answer to our trivia question, which I think I have figured out now. You name the last 2 players to play as the team in the World Series and then turn around and play for that team the next year.
Very good done.
I got it together. It's Pat Burrell, who of course won the World Series with Philadelphia. Edgar Renteria, who lost for the St. Louis Cardinals, ended up the very next year on the 05 Red Sox. So I think I have it under control now.
A little confusing the first time you threw it out there, which I'm sure had some fans scratching their heads, but I think they figured it out.
Reading is tough sometimes. You have to slow down and
everybody's excited. It's opening day.
Yeah. We didn't have that during spring training.
No, we got a lot of new stuff.
2 on, nobody out, and Jason Bay walked in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd. To left field, Carl Crawford coming in on a hop, knocks it down. Late break for third is Youkilis, and he is going to be out. Had to wait, thought Crawford may catch it. He does not, and gets Youkilis at third base.
There's not much Kevin Youkilis could do there at all. You know, you see the ball, you see a guy with speed like Crawford go into a dive, and you have to make sure, especially with nobody out, that he doesn't catch the ball. It's trapped. That's when Youkilis takes off, but a good heads-up play by Crawford to go to third base and get the force out. All of a sudden, Evan Longoria at third base becomes a first baseman stretching out. Tough play for a base runner, caught in nowhere's land.
And tough for Jason Bay, who doesn't get a base hit out of it. Well, they force out at third base. And it's 2 on with 1 out. And Mike Lowell, the batter. And the ground foul outside of third. Popped out in the first inning, doubled in the third inning. And knocked in a run. Down 0-2. It has been a tough pitch for Red Sox hitters all day.
Change up again. Goodwin down below the knees.
'90th pitch of the day for James Shields. It skips in. Navarro able to knock it down. To third, Evan Longoria will touch the bag at third, fire across to first for the double play that goes 5-3 and wraps up the fifth. 4-1 Boston through 5. Sixth inning back at Fenway Park. Josh Beckett's got 7 strikeouts. Of course, had a 13K game at Tropicana Field last season against Tampa Bay early on in the year. And was able to dazzle them early in the season, as he is today. If I'm not mistaken, he was matched up against Shields that day also and took the loss in that game despite the 13 Ks. And Shields went the distance for that victory at Tropicana Field. Iwamura 1 for 2 as he fouls it off to the left. Rays have been held to just 1 hit today, and Iwamura's got it in a single back in the third inning. And at third is Mike Lowell. Two and 1.
Again, that's the changeup from Josh Beckett. That one at 89. He's had a couple today that have been down to 87 miles an hour.
Saw the pitch count in very good shape. And as he wanted that one, it's now 3 and 1. Beckett just got a new ball, does not like this one either, and we'll get a new one from home plate umpire Tim Sheeta. This one will do as he gets ready with the 3-1 pitch to Akinori Iwamura. Leads it off for the Rays in the 6th inning. Ball 4 and a leadoff walk. Check back in with Heidi Watney. Heidi?
Well, Don, as you and Jerry mentioned, Fenway Park got a bit of a facelift this offseason with improvements all over the ballpark. I spoke with Sox owner Tom Warner about the changes.
Well, we're standing in the new right field roof deck, and you can see the floor is a wooden floor, which we like. It's kind of a reminiscent of old baseball. But the views from here are fantastic, and we have added some seats and we've taken away some seats. So the net is we've added 200 seats. But you've got a drink rail here, and this is a great place to watch the ball game. You can see the field, and there's going to be some space here for additional standing room. But I think this is just a great new addition.
Now, there are also new concessions on the right field roof deck. In addition to those improvements, the grandstand seats were replaced with springback seats to get in and out of the rows easier. There are also seats with cup holders and cushions in the lower box seats. Don, Jerry?
Thanks very much, Heidi. Things really coming together in that regard. And we mentioned the concessions as a report, and there's a look at them now in right field.
Well, like everything else they've done here at Fenway Park, it just looks like it fits.
It's really been an ongoing process, a large amount of renovations each offseason. Hesitate to call them the new ownership group now that they've been here for 8 full seasons. But it has been amazing what they've been able to do year to year as this one is fouled off. It's a ball and 2 strikes right now to Carl Crawford. This was the one I think I was most skeptical about at the time when you heard about it. They were going to put seats at the top of the monster, and the screen had been there so long, but now they feel and look like they've been there forever. And one of the great views at Fenway Park, one of the most interesting seats you'll find anywhere in the majors. This one fouled off, and it hangs at 1-2. Crawford is grounded out to short and hit a sacrifice fly, producing the lone Rays run. That was back in the 3rd inning. Leadoff walk of Akinori Iwamura has got this, the 6th inning started. To left center field, and this will get into the gap out there to the track and the wall. Iwamura with good speed is being stopped at 3rd. It's a double for Crawford. And 2nd and 3rd all of a sudden with nobody out for the Rays here in the 6th inning.
There's a case where Carl Crawford hits a pretty good pitch. The ball is down. It is away. But Crawford slaps it in that gap and slaps it hard toward that left field wall. Nobody out in the inning. Third base coach not taking any chances with Iwamura. And down by 3 runs.
Second and 3rd, nobody out. Nevin Longoria, the strikeout victim in the 1st inning, flied out to right field in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2. Fouls this one off himself. The league leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. Rookie of the year last year, and category is runs batted in a season ago. Longoria on top of that list with 85. Among rookies, Alexei Ramirez second with 77.
And that 85 too is missing quite a bit of time toward the end of the season. He might have had a chance to go over 100 runs batted in.
And the fractured wrist, of course, hit the pitch from J.J. Putz, who now Putz doing his business for the Mets, wrapping up the game yesterday in what is now a shortened game for the New York Mets when you get J.J. Putz in the 8th and K-Rod in the 9th. Hopped up, foul ground. Veritek will come back. Mask discarded. Will it come back for him? Yes, and he makes the catch. It's a big out. It's out number 1 of the 6th.
And again, right now, not much breeze at all, and that helped keep the ball in the ballpark and give Jason Veritek a chance to make the catch. Picks it up right away. You can see Beckett pointing up to the foul ball, and Veritek goes right back to the screen. And with a couple of feet has a chance to make the play on it. A very big out right there for Josh Beckett, leaving those men at 2nd and 3rd.
Been a tough day so far for Carlos Pena, who can turn it around in a hurry. We've seen that in the past. He has 2 strikeouts today and 2 at-bats against Josh Beckett. Goes around, according to home plate umpire Toshida. Javier Lopez is up, and Ramon Ramirez up for the Red Sox. He's coming over in the Coco Crisp deal from the Kansas City Royals. It's 0-2.
Right now, the only thing on Beckett's mind is a strikeout. And at second and third, he's got the one out in the inning. He's quickly ahead of Pena. Gets ahead of him on the breaking ball there. Now I'd like to put him away for his third strikeout of the afternoon against Pena.
Newell Moore at third base. Crawford at second. One out. Saw the outfield to pull as well as the infield in the shift. Pena takes ball 1, 1-2. Pat Burrell waits on deck as Beckett tries to work his way around a leadoff walk, followed by a double. Got Longoria, so it's second and third, one out. And Varitek headed out.
Wednesday night at 6 live from Yorkie Way. It's Red Sox Game Day Live. Eck will give you his thoughts on what to expect from John Lesser in 2009, and you'll find out what Dustin Pedroia thought the first time he met David Ortiz. Plus, you'll also get an introductory course in the 2009 Ectionary. Dennis will define what salad is, and we'll show you an example of salad in action. Join TC, Eck, and Heidi Wednesday night at 6. I already know what salad is.
I'm looking forward to that because there's a few things Eck say that I'm really not all that clear on.
I had a chance to play with him, so I got it pretty much down on his.
You get salad.
His Ectionary.
How about hair? Is it?
That's the fastball.
That's the fastball.
Good,
the hair.
good zip on it.
We look forward to all of that.
Salad's a nothing meatball right down the middle of the plate.
It's 2-2 to Pena with one out. And Beckett and Varitek kind of going back and forth here, and now Pena backing out. Line for Beckett, about to throw his 79th pitch. And it's strike three. Third time today that Carlos Pena has struck out, and it's a big one for Beckett, 2 down.
The Amica Pit Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Get the right auto and home coverage at AmicaCoverage.com. And it's a fastball again, hitting his spot inside corner on Pena. Pena with a couple of strikes, thinking he's got to protect the plate away. Instead, Beckett zips him inside with the fastball with some hair on it.
Clearly not salad.
No, not salad.
Second and third, nobody out at the time. He's bared down to get Longoria and Pena back to back. And here's Burrell. Not yet out of the woods as he gets strike one in. Burrell is flied out to center and fly to left, 0 for 2. Chopped high left side. Lowell plants and throws. That's the inning. Beckett works his way around the leadoff walk in a tough situation. Still got a 4-1 lead. Opening day 2009 for the Red Sox here at Fenway Park, who enjoy a 4-1 lead. Jed Lowry, Jason Varitek, and Jacoby Ellsbury facing James Shields here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lowry is grounded out and singled. His third look at James Shields. It's 0-2. There is action in the Rays pen. Brian Schaus, the veteran left-hander, former member of the Red Sox and many other teams, including pitching in Japan for a bit, up in the pen for the Rays. This one skips in and gets home plate umpire Tim Sheeta. Kicks off to the right. Opening week baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Firestone. Lowry fouls off another. It's still 1-2.
Saw Julio Lugo in the clubhouse prior to the game today, and of course continued his rehab work after knee surgery. I think he's going back to Fort Myers, if I'm not mistaken, to get more work in. Lance Cormier, Brian Schaus, the combination right-left out in the bullpen for the Rays.
He takes ball 2, 2-2. When you think about the way the season started last year for the Red Sox and all the travel that they did, the shortened spring last year, leaving on March 19th to head over to Tokyo to begin the year and start the season, then stop the regular season for a bit, play some more exhibition games on the West Coast before starting up again on the West Coast against the A's, and then making their way to Toronto, all before this event took place a year ago. Opening day, they had been and logged a lot of miles prior to opening day last year. Lowry laces it foul.
And opening day here really came desperate for them, didn't it? Because they came back from Toronto just completely flat. I think everybody had hit the wall after that very long trip to Japan and back to the West Coast and then up to Toronto. And I think everybody was really looking forward to getting home here to Fenway.
Strike 3 call. Lowry striking out is the first strikeout for James Shields since the first batter back in the first inning for him.
Yeah, nice little cut fastball here from Shields on the outside corner. To pitch a lefty will give up on. He thinks it's away, but that little cut puts it on the outside corner for the strike.
One out for the captain, who lined out to left field in the second, flied out to right in the third. To right field down the line. Will it stay fair? It is a fair ball and gone. Jason Varitek has homered. The Red Sox lead it 5-1.
Now the only question here, was it going to stay fair or was it going to go foul? There was no doubt about the distance and how hard Varitek hit this pitch. Fastball down and in, and Varitek able to keep that ball in fair territory by bringing his hands inside the baseball. That ball was crushed.
13 of them last year. His first comes on opening day, and James Shields' day is over. The pitching change from Fenway with the Red Sox now on top 5-1.
Tom Kerr with you back here in our NESN HD Television Center at New England Toyota Dealer game break. Bottom of the 8th in Chicago, and Jim Thome erases a 2-1 Kansas City lead with a 3-run shot off Kyle Farnsworth. Ruins a good outing for Gil Mesh as the White Sox win it 4-2. Let's go back to Fenway. Don?
Thanks, Tom. 5-1. Red Sox on top with one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A pitching change for the Rays. This call to bullpen is brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. New pitcher is Lance Cormier.
Spent the 2008 season with the Baltimore Orioles after spending some time down in AAA Norfolk. He's pitched for Arizona, Atlanta, and Baltimore in his major league career. Those are the numbers last year with the Orioles.
And very good spring training for the Rays. 1.62 ERA with a save during spring training, and appeared in a team high 11 games during the spring. Well, not the best we've seen of James Shields, who departs after giving up 5 runs. He had 5 1/3 innings today, and his troubles here at Fenway Park continue. We mentioned that he had not won here. And trails 5-1 as he leaves after 5 1/3. On the ground to third base with Longoria in. He quickly disposes of Jacoby Ellsbury.
Stay tuned with us immediately following the game tonight for WB Mason's Extra Innings. You'll see and hear the live press conferences, post-game conferences from Josh Beckett and Terry Francona. Plus, Eck will recap all the festivities and key plays on opening day 2009. It's all coming up right after the game with TC, Eck, and Heidi. Also, you'll get a preview of the Bruins Senators game tonight on NESN.
2 outs, base is empty. Dustin Pedroia takes strike 1 from Cormier. Pedroia with a solo shot in the first inning, walked and scored in the third. And grounded out in the 4th. To right field, Gabe Gross puts it away, and the Red Sox are gone. Jason Varitek has homered, and the Red Sox lead it 5-1. Josh Beckett, 81 pitches deep into his outing, starts the 7th inning. Matt Joyce leading it off for the Rays, and he takes strike one. Joyce, Navarro, and Gross to bat here in the 7th inning. Beckett with 8 strikeouts through the first 6 innings. He has walked 3. The only run he gave up was back in the 3rd inning. Hideki Okajima warming up in the pen. I think that'll be one of the interesting storylines as the season moves along here in the early going, is how Terry Francona will use his brand new bullpen, and what is a bolstered bullpen. It appears on paper heading into the season, a very good deep bullpen, and what their roles will be. Leading up to Papelbon, as this one is grounded foul.
Well, if today is any indication, you saw Ramirez and you saw Lopez up last inning. Now, as we get deeper into the ball game, you see Okajima loosening right now. But I agree, Don, it's going to be interesting to see how he does, you know, have established these roles for these guys out in the bullpen, which he's already talked to him about.
Swing and a miss. Joyce down on strikes, 9 Ks for Beckett.
The last inning, Josh Beckett had a 2nd and 3rd situation with nobody out going into the meat of the batting order. He gets Longoria, first of all, to pop up to Jason Varitek to get the first out of the inning. After that, Carlos Pena with the strikeout on an inside fastball, and then Pat Burrell. Little tap down at third base, and Beckett gets out of that masterfully at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
One out of the inning for Deoner Navarro, who is 0 for 2. He has grounded out first and struck out swinging. On the ground right side, Pedroia. Underhanded, and there's 2 down. We're going to stay right here in the 7th inning stretch at Fenway Park for God Bless America as Keith Lockhart and the Boston Pops get ready for that. And of course, the new release of their CD yesterday titled The Red Sox Album, featuring wonderful renditions of baseball tunes. And of course, also here, the Tanglewood Festival Chorus. Gabe Gross with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Two 2-0 from Beckett. He's retired 5 in a row, and the first 2 outs here are the 7th inning. Fouls it off, and it's 2-1. Beckett at 94 miles per hour. Still getting it up there, 91 pitches in his outing. Gross now, Bartlett next. If the inning continues, there are 2 outs. Strike 2, and it's 2-2. Even higher that time at 95 from Beckett.
Well, Beckett knowing right now that he's probably working his last inning of this ball game.
Ten strikeouts for Josh Beckett. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 7th inning. And a 5-1 Red Sox lead, and a marvelous performance today for Josh Beckett, if it is indeed the end of that outing. 93 pitches. The Dunkin' Donuts musical montage. And as always, we thank the kind folks at Dunkin' Donuts for supplying our booth with all kinds of goodies. As we move along to the bottom of the 7th inning, Ortiz, Youkilis, and Drew. And it's Cormier back on the mound for the Rays. Into the shift defensively for Ortiz. A high strike, and it's 1-1. Ortiz swings through it, and it's 1-2.
I remember a couple of years back, it was Joe Madden who put the shift on Ortiz, but put 4 outfielders in the outfield. He kind of threw that plan away last year. Now the conventional shift on David.
Evens up at 2-2 to Ortiz, who singled back in the first inning, fly to right in the third, fly to center in the 4th inning. Joe Madden, one of those guys that did virtually everything you can do in baseball in the Angels organization before getting his first managerial position with the Rays. And you may have forgotten, which I actually did, that at the time Terry Francona was hired, he was actually interviewed by the Red Sox prior to becoming the manager of the Rays. They did it all in the Angels organization. I think it certainly helped him now that he's here in the majors. And as he pointed out last year, you're kind of first a psychologist now as a manager today in the big leagues. Ortiz works the walk to begin the bottom of the 7th.
Well, tonight after our Bruins coverage, stay with us for Sports Desk presented by FW Webb, home of Frank Webb's Bass Centers. Cole will bring you all the sights and sounds from opening day 2009, plus Bruins Senators highlights and a look at mastering Tiger's swing as the world's best golfer prepares for the first major of the year at Augusta. All this and more coming up tonight after Bruins coverage.
Youkilis is fly to right, singled and doubled. 2-hit day so far. Brennan, the Red Sox starting 9 has a hit with the exception of Jacoby Ellsbury, as the Red Sox have 9 hits on the day. And Beckett has kept the Rays to only 2 hits. In his 7 innings of work, 10 strikeouts for Beckett. James Shields, who started for Tampa Bay today, chased after 5 1/3. Cormier out there for his 2nd inning of relief. In tight for ball 2, 2-2. Drew on deck, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. On the ground up the middle, Bartlett ranging to second for 1. Iwamora's throw not in time. They do get Ortiz for the force out at second base.
Iwamora, the way he had to come back off that second base bag to get that flip, took a little extra time, and that's the difference at first base. Because from that position, you have to really turn your back to the runner to make sure you get that flip. And by the time you get spun around again, just a little bit late at first base to get Youkilis. Kevin hustling all the way down that line.
Well, now 1 on for J.D. Drew. Doubled back in the first, who grounded out in the 3rd and walked in the 5th. Double in the 1st inning. Down 0-2. Cormier signing a minor league deal last year with the Orioles and started the season at AAA Norfolk. Ended up spending the majority of the year with the Orioles in the big leagues after being brought up on May the 2nd. This one gets away. Breaking for second immediately is Youkilis. He'll get there easily.
That's one that Deanna Navarro probably should have put in his back pocket instead of even trying to make a throw to second base. Almost threw it away. There's Youkilis going once he sees he gets by Deanna Navarro. The backhanded play by Bartlett will keep Youkilis at second base.
And the shift on it, so the shortstop Bartlett fires to first for the out, but it's on to third for Youkilis with now 2 down.
And that's what we were talking about earlier in the game, Don. You know, generally when JD hits the ball on the ground, he pulls it, but when he gets in the air, he can use the whole ballpark. We saw him earlier go off that left field wall, this time on the ground and into the shift. So even with the man in scoring position, they still elect to use the shift, and that time it pays off.
We're here at Fenway Park in Boston on this opening day. Don Orsillo, Jerry Remy, and Heidi Watney bringing you Boston Red Sox baseball in high definition and Adobe Digital 5.1 surround sound on Nesson.
That was quite the little pop-up there, wasn't it?
I was reading. I didn't get to see it, unfortunately.
Oh.
How did it look?
You look very good.
Really?
You and Heidi look outstanding. I'm a mess.
Bay lifts it to center. Joyce started in, now goes back. It's taken him away, still going, and he makes the catch. A bit of an adventure, to say the least. But in the end, he makes the grab that ends the 7th. It's 5-1 Boston after 7. Okajima making his way in.
To kick off the season, the team at NESN.com has chosen their all-time Red Sox lineup. Check out the starters and backups, then weigh in with your own thoughts to create the fans' version. The fans' all-time lineup will be posted next Monday. Choose out the all-time Red Sox lineup only at NESN.com.
5-1, the Red Sox on top of Tampa Bay. And as we head to the 8th inning, Red Sox have a new pitcher after 7 innings from Beckett, who gave up 2 hits, a run. He walked 3, struck out 10, and threw 93 pitches. New pitcher is Hideki Okajima.
And we take a look at the numbers for Okajima from a year ago. The 64 games, 3-2 record. Only 49 hits in 62 innings. Opponent's batting average of .212.
Jason Bartlett leading it off for the Rays. His action behind Okajima, Justin Masterson up in the pen. Finally determined in the last week or so of spring training that he would start the year in the pen. He had been stretched out as a starter throughout spring training just in case Brad Penny was not going to be ready to go, as Okajima hits Bartlett to begin things here in the 8th. Bartlett at first base, and here's Akinori Iwamura. He's been on base twice. That was against Beckett. He struck out in the first, singled in the 3rd, and then walked against Beckett in the 6th inning.
Well, an outstanding performance today by Josh Beckett. Only the 2 hits allowed, the 10 strikeouts. A big 6th inning when he had 2nd and 3rd and was able to get 3 quick outs to leave those runners at 2nd and 3rd and keep this Red Sox lead fairly comfortable going into the late innings.
The numbers for Beckett on this opening day for the Red Sox. 10 strikeouts. On a strike to Iwamura. 2-1. Since coming to the Red Sox, 131 innings for Okajima in his first 2 years. 3rd among left-handed American League relievers. only behind Rafael Perez and Darren Oliver. And of course, in that first season, which turned out to be an all-star selection for Okajima, really the 8th inning was his. Role changed a bit last year, and see how he's used this season as he comes in here in the 8th to start it. I mentioned Masterson up in the bullpen. And continues to throw. The Rays also with action. Joe Nelson, right-hander, is up. Ball 4, so a hit batter and a base on balls to the first 2 batters that Okajima faces here in the 8th. Number 2 hitter Carl Crawford coming up here with 2 on, nobody out. Crawford is grounded out, hit a sacrifice fly to produce the only Rays run, and he doubled as he takes strike 1 from Okajima. For the longest tenured Ray of all time, 6 years, 7th straight opening day start, as he fouls it off, and it's 0-2. All of his opening day starts coming in left field. Cubs all-time leader in hits, at bats, runs, stolen bases, triples, and overall games. Had a great game 4 here at Fenway Park last year as part of the American League Championship Series, in which he went 5 for 5 with 2 doubles and a triple. Waves at that pitch. Okajima battling back nicely to strike out Crawford.
Well, it makes it much easier when you get ahead of the batter. He gets Crawford to chase a breaking ball that's not going to be in the strike zone. Never was in the strike zone. And that brings Terry Francona around with Longoria at the plate. He's got Masterson ready in the bullpen.
5-1 Red Sox on top. The pitching change from Fenway. Back at Fenway Park with a game summary is brought to you by Comcast. Well, Dustin Pedroia in his first at bat of 2009 with a solo home run to left field to give the Red Sox their first run of 2009. And a nice start to this season for the captain, Jason Varitek, in his 3rd at bat at a solo home run in the 6th inning off James Shield. And the Red Sox pitching department today outstanding from Josh Beckett, who gives up just 2 hits in 7 innings pitched, and has a chance for victory number 1 if the bullpen can help him out with the Red Sox on top 5-1. Okajima facing 3 batters. He hit Bartlett, walked Iwamura before striking out Carl Crawford. So he leaves on a good note, but responsible for the 2 Rays that are on. And the new pitcher is Justin Masterson.
Strange year for Masterson last year, starting off as a starter at Portland, ending up with the Boston Red Sox both in the starting and finishing in the bullpen role.
Evan Longoria had a tough time against Beckett, going 0 for 3. Bartlett taken off for 3rd. They both go, and there's no throw from Varitek on the strike to Longoria. So they didn't waste any time.
That's a good, smart play. Even though they're down by 4 runs late in the game, Masterson takes a long time to get rid of the ball, paying no attention to the runners, and that quickly they get 2 men in the scoring position.
Longoria to right center field. This is going to get in for a hit. From 3rd base comes Bartlett. Iwamura is behind him. It's 2 runs for the Rays, and it's now a 5-3 Red Sox lead.
That's a nice piece of hitting there by Longoria, too. Inside out swing, couple of men in scoring position. Okajima getting the team in trouble here in the 8th inning, and Longoria makes this a ball game now. That fastball out over the plate, the inside out swing finds that gap in right center field, and it's a 5-3 game.
Longoria had a tough time with Beckett. Has had a tough time in his career against Masterson until now. They've been 0 for 7 with 3 Ks, but this hit has produced 2 runs as Pena fouls it off. Pena 0 for 3 against Beckett, striking out 3 times. Twice swinging and once looking. Nicholas holds on Longoria. 1 out.
The small things, Don. The heads-up base running, getting a couple of men in the scoring position. Red Sox not thinking about the possible double steal. And then Longoria follows with the base hit to drive in 2 runs.
Roll foul, 1 and 2. The runs charged to Okajima. He went a third of an inning, giving up no hits. Walked a batter, hit a batter, and struck out a batter charged with 2. Pena has struck out 3 times today. Is down 1 and 2. Make it 4 times.
Now he's had some nasty pitches made against him this afternoon, mostly by Josh Beckett, but another one here by Masterson as he'll pick up the outside corner. Now they have painted against him all day long. See everything else in that at bat from the middle of the plate in, then he goes away with the fastball to pick up the strikeout.
Longoria at first base, 2 down. Pat Burrell 0 for 3 as he takes strike 1. Brett Balfour has joined Joe Nelson. Of course, Balfour was an enormous part of the Rays bullpen last year. Was so successful during the regular season and the postseason, and Balfour one of those guys. Ball 1, 1-1 to Pat Burrell. First time he's played at Fenway Park since 2006. He's not always enjoyed his time here. He's 0 for 12 in interleague play. In 06 in lifetime at Fenway Park, a 176 hitter. To right field, Drew coming in, slices, but it makes the grab to end the inning. The Rays get 2 back. It's 7.5 deep, and it's a 5-3 Red Sox lead.
If you're looking for a new way to entertain valued clients or treat family and friends to a memorable night at Fenway Park, check out the Boston Red Sox Premium Lineup. Available game experiences include the Legend Suite or a Green Monster Party for 10 to 27 people. For more information, call 877-RED-SOX-9 or email premiumsales@redsox.com.
Justin Masterson getting out of a bit of a jam as 2 runs are charged to Okajima. He's able to strike out Pena and Burrell. As we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, Mike Lowell leading it off against the new Tampa Bay pitcher, Joe Nelson.
34 years old and making his first opening day roster, his 14th season in professional baseball. Last year with the Florida Marlins, he missed all of 2007, recovering from labrum surgery.
We saw him very briefly in 2004, pitching in 3 games for the Red Sox.
We got a good memory, Don.
Very quickly, 3 games in 04. He did spend some time with Pawtucket that year and 25 games at AA. The Portland Sea Dogs back in 04. And since then, he has been with Kansas City and Florida. Mike Lowell 1 for 3 today, and an RBI double back in the 3rd inning. Red Sox getting the closer ready for the 9th as Papelbon heats it up. On the ground, Jason Bartlett, the shortstop, for the first out of the 8th.
Well, a couple of home runs for the Red Sox. Pedroia, Veritek, and 3 runs in the 5th inning. All the scoring. A couple of those 3 runs coming after 2 are out. Jason Bay with a base hit. Then Mike Lowell with the double to drive in a run. Been a good ball game.
And well pitched. Josh Beckett with a great start today. 7 innings, just 2 hits and the 1 run, hoping to win on this opening day as Jed Lowry fouls it off. Lowry with a single back in the 3rd inning, 1 for 3. With the Red Sox losing the off day, moving this opening day to today. They'll play 9 games in a row. And of course, after these 3 against Tampa Bay, he'll head out west to take on Los Angeles and Oakland. One of only 2 trips to the West Coast for Terry Francona's team. And we'll have it all wrapped up really by the middle of May, which is remarkable as far as going to the West Coast. Certainly beneficial in the second half of the season when you don't need to go back out there again. John Lester scheduled to pitch against lefty Scott Kazmir here tomorrow in game 2 of this 3-game series. Lowry tried to hold up, it goes around, striking out for the 2nd out of the 8th.
Lowry with a 1 for 4 afternoon as he goes down on looks to be a split-fingered fastball right there from Nelson.
Two outs for Jason Veritek. He's now made 9 opening day starts for the Red Sox, more than any other player on the roster, and the most ever by a Red Sox catcher. Overall, he's now tied with Mike Greenwell, Frank Malzone, and George Scott for 10th in club history. Wade Boggs and Dominic DiMaggio are next on that list with 10 starts each. To center field, Matt Joyce makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 8th inning. We head to the 9th inning. Red Sox on top 5-3. Papelbon will be coming on. Boston Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Sylvania, Land Rover, Bermuda Tourism, New England Toyota dealers, and by Southwest Airlines. 9th inning back at Fenway Park. Red Sox on top 5-3. Jonathan Papelbon on the mound for the Red Sox for the 9th.
41 saves in 2008 for Jonathan Papelbon. That was in 67 games. The 41 saves and 46 opportunities for Papelbon, trying to pick up his first of 2009.
Masterson went 2/3 of an inning, giving up a hit, no runs. He didn't walk anybody, struck out a batter, allowed 2 inherited runners to score. Those runs charged to Okajima. And Papelbon ready to deal with Matt Joyce to begin the 9th inning. So the Rays were able to draw closer by grabbing 2 runs in the 8th. Shipping up to Boston has wrapped up. Papelbon ready to go. Joyce now, Navarro next, and then perhaps Gabe Gross. Joyce 0 for 3, a pop out and 2 strikeouts. Ball 1 inside. Popped up, sending Pedroia back a step or 2 for out number 1. So Joyce is gone for the first out of the ninth. I'll remind you, 7:30 tonight, Bruins and Senators from Ottawa, right here on Nesson. Deanna Navarro 0 for 3. 2 groundouts and a strikeout. Bats with 1 out, bases empty. Ball 1. Papelbon wrapping up the exhibition season with a scoreless inning against the Mets on Friday night at Citi Field. In his final tune-up, 95 on the fastball that he blows by Navarro, 1-1.
Remember, there was some concern in spring training that Papelbon's fastball was not the same. It was about 90-91. Well, it changes a little bit on opening day, doesn't it?
The adrenaline is back. Guy who draws so much emotion during his outings, and certainly that adrenaline may not be the same in a spring training type atmosphere either.
No, it's tough to get those emotions going in the 5th inning of a spring training game.
The 2-1 pitch to Deanna Navarro. Fouled off, and it's 2-2. Well, Papelbon with 113 saves since 2006, ranks 3rd in the majors over that span. Behind Francisco Rodriguez's 149 and Trevor Hoffman's 118, but he is 3rd since 2006. It's 2-2 to Navarro. Stays alive. Beckett for 7, Okajima for 3rd, Masterson for 2/3, and Papelbon has out number 1 of the 9th. Gross has come out on deck and will bat for himself here. With a count of 2-2 to Deanna Navarro. Ball 3.
Papelbon trying to go away, but gets it up just a little bit high out of the strike zone. Navarro does a good job to stay off that pitch.
Navarro strikes out. Papelbon at 94 strikes him out for out number 2.
Couple of big strikeouts here last couple of innings. You had Masterson striking out Pena for the 4th time this afternoon. And now Papelbon picks up the 2nd out of the 9th inning with a strikeout on Navarro. That was on the fastball.
Red Sox pitching have combined for 13 Ks on the day. A 10 strikeout performance for Beckett through 7. Gabe Gross 0 for 2 with a walk. Strike 1. First time the Red Sox have opened at home since 2002. This one skips to the backstop and evens a count at 1-1.
There's a lot of criticism about this too, with a dome down in Tampa. Why in the world would you be opening up here in New England at this time of the year?
the Florida team who plays in a dome. The weather has not been a factor here today. It's actually been pretty pleasant in the second try to get opening day complete. The Red Sox are 1 out away. It's inside for ball 2. Joyce to pop out to second. Navarro struck out. Jason Bartlett on deck for the Rays. Strike 2.
Papelbon painting down and away.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 9th inning. Red Sox on top by 2. Ball 3, full count. Papelbon reaching back that time to 96.
And trying to get the put-away pitch on the inside part of the plate, just missed inside. Right at the top of the strike zone.
Rays trying to get the tying run to the plate. The 3-2 pitch. Hey, struck him out. The Red Sox win on opening day at Fenway. The gem from Beckett and Papelbon wraps it up as the Red Sox take their first game of the year here at Fenway Park in a 5-3 divisional win against the Tampa Bay Rays. And Beckett behind 7 innings of 2-hit pitching, just 1 run allowed for Beckett, and a 10 strikeout performance. And an outstanding effort for him today in his first win of the year. Jason Varitek with a home run, 1 of 2 for Boston today. Dustin Pedroia homered also as part of this 5-3 win. It's all good in Red Sox Nation as the Red Sox take their home opener. Back at Fenway with more after this.